facial pattern is actually a very culturally significant. Typically just down there. Majority of the population is. Like late last year, we did a weight study on the rhinos, where we would weigh the rhinos multiple times a day. Before they ate, after they ate, they were most active and least active. Things like that. If you're wondering how you weigh a rhino, it is basically on the same scales you use for a semi-truck. People whatsoever, especially considering y'all have treats for them. So like fallow deer will have antlers, but they will grow constantly throughout their lives. And actually shave their horns down to a desired shape and length. So out there you can see Rocket with his mom Ursula, Rocket being the one on the right out of those three. Rocket is almost 2 years old. Coming up here we've got Zenith with her little guy Turbo. Turbo will turn a year old in November. Southern white rhino is the most common rhino on the planet. There's currently about 20,000 of the southern white rhinos in the wild. So our main goal is just keeping a large genetic population in captivity. The largest that is estimated that these guys can get is about 10,000 pounds. So rhinos actually have pretty terrible eyesight, so they're actually unable to see the pellets if you throw them out to them. Hold on to your pellets for now. As you can see, Kahari does enjoy people. And although they have very thick skin, it is still fairly sensitive. So like Kahari, for example, does love belly rubs. And of course, rhinos do have horns, but they're not actually considered true horns. There it is. Yep. Directly in front of us almost. If you look way off in the sky directly in front of us, a little bit to the left now, there is a bunch of circling vultures. Have you ever heard that vultures will circle over dead animals because that's mainly what they eat? They are scavengers. That's actually not right on down to our rhino enclosures now. That's another black buck hanging out in his territory. More confused about what's happening than anything it looks like. We will head down the Fossil Rim roller coaster. Fallow deer right here. You can actually see there's a lot of roads that kind of disappear off into the tree line. Those are heading back into the IMA, the Intensive Management Area. That's where we've got some other animal species that don't really like humans all that much, like the red wolves and the Mexican gray wolves. Well, here, this time on the left-hand side, more than 200. And there's currently about 6,000 cheetahs out of most of her tail. But that was actually from the other zebras biting. So cheetahs have incredibly long tails for how long their body is, which means that Charlie here really thinks that she can get this baby Addax. Before we get to the enclosures, next look on Waterfall Ranch. So this is where one of those waterfalls did. And of course they do have those horns for fighting with other aoudad. So if you've ever seen that, they will just full speed ram into each other with those horns. And although it may seem like it hurts, it doesn't actually hurt them nearly as bad as you would think. Because those horns act kind of like a boxing glove. So it helps cushion the blow from when they are running into things. So it only really dazes them. It doesn't ever really cause permanent damage, at least most of the time. We could put them together. I'll go. And now that they're right up next to us, you'll notice they have a very long bit of hair in the front of their bodies, which we like to call their disco pants. And that is there for a reason besides style. It actually prevents their body from getting cut up nearly as bad as it would without it. So it's just an extra layer of protection in the front of their bodies. Light back there, but we do have red-tailed hawks pretty regularly in the area. Smaller tan animals. Those are the aoudad. There's our two youngest aoudad. They were born early this year. It's playtime. The aoudad is a mountainous animal native to northern Africa and countries like Morocco. Semi-domesticated animal. And that is not in any part of humans. Fallow deer, even in the wild, just figured out that people find them cute and will give them food. So a lot of the times, you will just find entire herds of fallow deer that just live out in pardon. Bye. You can't get fed if you're going to sit in front. And he was actually one of the 4 Hartmann's mountain zebras born in captivity at all last year. They are an incredibly rare thing to have born. We're still trying to figure out exactly why, but zebras don't really like to have children in captivity. So because we successfully had baby zebra here, the Dallas Zoo actually sent us over 2 more female zebras. So that would hopefully take a liking to Rico, the only male we have. Although not endangered, they are a threatened animal. There's only currently about 13,000 of the Hartmann zebra out in the wild, which might sound like a lot, but other zebras, like the plain zebras, have numbers in the hundreds of thousands. There's our only male red deer. Due to his age, he actually only grew back 1 1/5 of an antler this year. He's the only male in the herd, so he doesn't have any problem winning over the ladies, even though he doesn't have both his antlers right now.
Come on. Eat that, buddy.
They actually communicate by biting and kicking at each other. Zebras are very naturally aggressive. This is the These two are going to be the last giraffes we feed, so if y'all do have lettuce, make sure y'all are giving it all to Nettie and Nyla. Those two horns on the top of their giraffes' heads, those are called ossicones. So far, everything we know about the ossicones, the only reason they're there is actually for fighting other giraffes. So if giraffes get in disagreements, when they do fight, they'll whack each other with their necks, and they use those ossicones kind of like a hammer. Found in a very similar region of the dry when they are swimming around. But it actually also serves another purpose that the waterbuck is probably not aware of. It does not smell very good. The waterbuck is a pretty stinky animal. And apparently, it does not taste very good either. So much so that they actually performed a study. In November. He's the one walking up to us first. He's still a little smaller than Mom. Mountain zebra is a pretty unique zebra out of the rest of the zebra species. They're more of a brown and white than the normal black and white that is evil whatsoever, especially considering y'all have treats for them. Unique facial pattern is actually a very culturally significant, found in southern Africa, especially the country of Botswana. And they are actually one of the few animals we have on the property that does pretty regularly fight off lions out in the wild. So as you can see, they've got some pretty nasty looking horns, which they're actually strong enough, they're able to pick up and throw lions. Majority of the population is. Typically just down there. So like the fallow deer will have antlers, but those that live on the property. And of course more fallow for that. very small part of the Congo Basin. Yeah, and they can get up